folks?
Well, let me start with Washington, D.C., because it's a very unique city. It's a district, right? It's a District of Columbia, and it's actually a city government, a county government, and a state government all rolled into one. Okay. And on top of all that, well, this in Flint, the budget's approved by the city council. When Washington, D.C., the budget's approved by the U.S. Congress. Okay. So it's a federal city that's operating like a state, a county, and a city all at the same time.
Wow.
The politics in D.C. are incredibly complicated.
I'm sure.
And let's take grants as one example. The office that I worked in, the Office of Partnerships and Grants Development, was part of the executive office of Mayor Tony Williams. We brought in $25 million a year in competitive federal grants. That's beyond what the district got for public housing, for community development, all the block grants. These were dollars that we had to put together a proposal, use partnerships with community organizations and the private sector to bring those dollars into the District of Columbia. So there was constant attention from the federal government, from the surrounding states. And one of the real differences here in Flint, for me, is that right now Flint seems to be last on everybody's list. We're not seeing the investments from Lansing. We're not seeing the investments from Washington, D.C. Flint has become something like an island unto itself. We're alienated from the county, and even within ourselves, we're very divided. And there were racial divisions in Washington, D.C., and there were divisions around the different levels of the neighborhoods. We have that in Flint too. So there's some similarities and there's some differences. But Flint has got to find a way to not only connect and unite people within the city, but we have to connect with those dollars that are there in Lansing and those dollars that are there in D.C. so that we've got some more to work with. Once we start working together, then we're going to need those funds to really make some things happen.
Okay. What do you think that your responsibility will be? You hear a lot of people that talk about the position and people who have their different campaigns as far as what they say they'll do once they get in office and that kind of thing. But what do you think that your responsibility will be if you become the next mayor of the city of Flint?
Well, the top appointments, the chief of police, the fire chief, the city administrator, the city attorney, all those folks are appointed by the mayor. So it's my job to ensure that each of those individuals is performing for the citizens of Flint. And I've figured out how we can monitor that. We'll create one phone number for non-emergency services. So regardless of whether you need a tree cut down or a sidewalk repaired, you want to report something in the roads, any kind of non-emergency that the city handles, something with the parks, you'll call this non-emergency number. All of those complaints will be dated, they'll be tracked, they'll be distributed to the appropriate agency. We'll get agency representatives together on a weekly basis in neighborhood action teams and give them those citizen requests. When they're fulfilled, we'll track that, and every week we'll sit in a cabinet meeting and I'll make sure that each of these department heads is doing enough work for the citizens. That's my job. My job is to make sure that all the departments are running in alignment with what the citizens in Flint need. We've got to have progress on economic development and jobs. We've got to have progress on reducing crime. We've got to have progress on creating more opportunities for our kids. And if we don't see that progress, then it's my responsibility to find a new person who can do the job effectively. It'll be a very hard-working city government when I'm in charge. That's the ethic that I bring to this. I was raised in this city, and I know what it means to work hard. I'm going to ask everybody who's working for me, which means working for the people of Flint, to work just as hard as I will.
What do you feel, or how do you feel, shall I say, about the campaign that's going on right now? How do you feel about your campaign?
I'm optimistic. We're about 3 weeks out from the November 6th election. I need 15,000 people to show up on that day and fill in the little circle next to my name so that I can become the next mayor. We're running a hard, all-around campaign. I have 2 campaign offices open, one on 940 South Grand Traverse, the other at 3713 Clio Road. We're getting out into neighborhoods all across the city every day. I'm continuing to knock on doors. We're getting a great list of endorsements. I have all the police organizations endorsing me, the UAW, retirees, Sisters United, the Genesee County Democratic Party.
Wow.
It's a real coming together. We're one people here in Flint, and this is one city, and we've all got to stand together to make it happen. And I feel that my personal responsibility as a candidate is to create that opportunity for people to come together. I can't decide who joins the winning coalition and who wants to keep sitting on the sidelines, but I'm inviting anybody who wants to get in this to come and be a support and work for some change, because I'm not satisfied with what we're doing right now. I know Flint can do much better than it is, and my campaign is a place where people can come together, work hard, and make that change on November 6th. I'm optimistic about what has happened so far, but it's an exciting campaign. There's 3 weeks left, and we're not taking anything for granted. We're working very hard every day.
That's great. I want to kind of ask you a few more questions that, it's a couple things that I've been kind of thinking about and just kind of wondering. There's so much that is going on within our community and within our city.